Ready? Last chance to run away. All right, so we will open the planning board meeting of June 23rd at 7:02 PM. And we only really have two things on the agenda. Overton Mountain Farm, Overton, Mountain Farm Road, lot number 1, parcel 101-1-21, construction of a new single-family residence. And then we have some administrative stuff to take care of. Do we have to call the roll, or can you see who's here? Ms. Desiree. Somebody's on mute.
Yeah, she's on mute. She has to unmute herself.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Say,
Can you just, well, we'll call the roll we'll announce the roll for purpose. I'm Jay Reichgott. I'm the chairperson, and we'll start from the right.
Rich Whitty.
Yes.
Natalia Tehovich.
Jeremy McKinnon.
Amy Levine is here, our counsel, and right at the last minute. Hi, state your name for the record, please.
Anthony Nelson.
And Anthony Nelson. So we got,
Jog down?
you good?
Yes, yeah, good. Just
You're not gonna get yelled at because somebody needs to be picked up or anything?
That's all I mentioned.
Oh, well, that's you. I get confused. Okay. Just as a quick introduction, the Overton parcels are the parcels up at the top of Mountain Farm Road, sort of in the vicinity and surrounding the Tuxedo Park School. Overton was the family, or the current version of the family, that actually donated the land and the building to the Tuxedo Park School. There has been, over a few years ago now, a subdivision plan was approved for this with 9 lots. And you guys have actually been to us with one of the lots, which was lot number 7, and there were some complications there because the subdivision plan has requirements for required infrastructure improvements for some of the lots, including lot 7. And the subdivision plan, and anybody who wants it, we can get copies of that to everybody, has a proposed construction schedule, which didn't start with lot 7. And so that changing the schedule was doable, but the infrastructure work still would need to be done first. So it sounds like you guys went back and said, maybe not such a good idea. Let's do one of the easy lots first.
Right.
So
Maybe before I begin with lot 1, because it's been a while since I've been here, maybe I ought to kind of give you a status report about lot 7.
Okay, that'd be fine. Let's start with, just for the formalities, can you please introduce yourself for the record?
Yes. My name is Jeffrey Small. I'm the architect for John Overton.
Okay.
Last time we were here, it's been a while. It was regarding lot 7. You guys wanted us to, as you mentioned, to kind of hit the pause button on the architecture on the building while the infrastructure stuff was being taken care of. The biggest thing was the the inflow and infiltration issue. And so the engineers, our engineers, village engineers, everybody's lawyers have been working on it for, the better part of a year. And they figured it out. So that's good.
That's good.
The ball is now in our court. Our engineers are working on the design for the utility work, and they should have construction drawings soon, whatever that means. I imagine, I'm pretty sure that work, that utility work, the road improvements, the cul-de-sac, all that stuff would be like a separate permit. And so I think they would probably apply for that separately and appear before you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it would need to be, the subdivision has got lots of requirements for what can be done on a lot.
Yeah.
And the requirements for getting the building permit, one of the first one is all of the required infrastructure work for that lot, or that is a precursor for that lot, has to be done first. So that would need to be its own permit.
Right.
And yes, we can deal with that.
There
I
were-
will point, sorry, I just,
Okay.
because I carry things in my head. There's lots of small print in the subdivision plan,
Yeah.
which obviously you guys know what you're responsible for following. One of them is there's like, you can only do 2 lots at a time on the site. And I'm guessing that like, you could do 1 lot and the infrastructure. Anyway, just keep that in mind as you're doing your planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So in terms of the conditions for the permit, there's various permits that are required. And we've obtained all of them, such as, issuance by DEC of ITP, whatever that is. So all these permits have been obtained. Their expiration dates are in 2031. The only exception is,
Are we talking about lot 1 or lot 7 still?
Lot 7 still.
Lot 7, okay.
One of them expired. I'd have to read through this a little more carefully. Oh, but one of them expired and it just has to kind of go back and get it again. I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
So anyway, that's lot 7.
Great.
Lot 1. Maybe I thought I would start with the approved subdivision plan, kind of reintroduce you guys to lot 1 and what was approved, and then kind of move on to what we'd like to do. So this is the existing, and I think there might be more copies of this too.
I brought out what we reviewed at the bar meeting. I think there might be some, the bigger plans
Yeah.
have the
Share.
Great. You can come around if you want. We don't segregate based on the occupation here. You see it?
So lot 1 is here along Mountain Farm Road, just on the border of the town. It's a big lot. It has a big hill at the top
With rattlesnakes on it.
with rattlesnakes on it. And then there's a kind of a flat portion that connects over here to Camp Comfort Road.
Yeah.
Yes. The next page shows some of the steep slopes, shows the ridge protection here. And it shows the kind of approved location for the house down the hill. It also shows
Oh, I'm sorry, this one. This is existing dwellings that are sort of off that driveway that's part of the school, if I remember correctly.
Ivy Road.
Yes.
Is that Garfellows or?
No, is it
Jack McKinnon.
McKinnon?
Sorry, John McKinnon. It's a house that already exists behind the headmaster's. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so way up there.
Yeah.
Garofano is here.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And there's the wetland right here in the front.
Yes.
And then the next page zooms in a little bit. And it shows the wetland here. It shows the boundary of the rattlesnake farm. And basically it shows the buildable area, which is pretty much bounded by the rattlesnake line and the wetland line, and of course the setbacks.
Right.
The water and sewer lines would come across an easement here. And there are two bioretention basins here and here, which are designed to catch surface runoff, and then sort of with plants and stuff, filter it before it overflows into the wetland, handling both water quantity and quality. So it's pretty much the broad strokes of the subdivision approval. The next page is really kind of the same thing, just focusing on the utilities. So here's the site plan. Zoom in a little bit. So our first gesture is to propose a small pond, in effect, to combine the two bioretention basins into a small pond. John Overton wanted to create like a focal point, or kind of add interest to the site, improve, because the house is so far down the hill, we wanted to kind of create a little view area. And then functionally, the pond would serve the same functions as the bioretention basins, capturing surface runoff, and then those would have rainbow planting that would filter surface runoff.
How big would that pond be and how deep?
So some of the technical stuff I don't know yet. I don't imagine it needs to be all that deep. So I think, John would love to maybe have some, like lake trout or something in it. So however deep it needs to be for
It
that.
needs to be pretty deep.
Does it really?
First lake trout have to be really deep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
So
Maybe different fish.
maybe some
Goldfish.
bass.
Yeah. I don't know anything about fish, but John does.
Lake trout would have to be really.
Okay. But it would have a liner, it would probably have its own well, and it would have an aerator. I think the last thing that we want is for this thing to be like a mud puddle, Probably have like some sort of grassy path going around most of it. But by and large, it would be surrounded by sort of rain garden type plantings, suitable for a pond. This is the line of the wetland. These are the setback lines. The driveway starts in the corner here, just kind of 10 feet off the corner, and goes up and around the back. And the garage is here. The front door is here. There's a terrace in the front overlooking the pond. The principal rooms downstairs are here, with a screen port there. There's a low sort of stone wall enclosing a kind of rear garden in the back. So this area is quite open. This area is much more private. And then there's some small retaining walls here, basically 4-foot retaining walls. The model might, you guys can pass this around if you want, it might help you visualize it a little bit more. So that's the basic layout of it.
And there's a pool too, yeah?
No pool.
No, oh, okay,
Yeah.
just the pond.
Yeah, just the pond. As John Ledwith mentioned, this is a kind of a preliminary introduction to you guys. We had last week we presented to the Board of Architectural Review, for their input. I think our workflow after today, after we kind of absorbed your suggestions, is to get the engineers to start working on the technical stuff. This is maybe a little more architect-y and less engineer-y. I think one of the things that, well, they'll obviously work on site utilities, stormwater. I think one of the areas that I think that they'll improve is the grading plan. I probably haven't done a great job of balancing the cut and fill. I think I'm probably digging into the hill maybe a little bit more than we need to. So I think that's something that we're gonna work on. So
So the hill is behind the building.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
it the hill is pretty big. So here's the building, and then the top of the hill is up here.
Show them where the driveway, I mean, some of the driveway access
The driveway
is at the very end of Mountain Farm Road, just before it turns into Pawtucket.
Oh, okay, that's,
top.
yeah, it's not through the main gate.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
It's right after Ivy Road.
it's right after Ivy Road.
Garafano is just before Ivy.
Okay, yeah.
So then there's Ivy Road, and then this is the lot.
Yeah,
we're talking about.
Garafano's driveway's on Ivy.
Yeah, it's basically the frontage is bounded by Ivy and then the town line.
So let me ask you,
Yes,
you go up Camp Comfort, okay,
No, don't go Camp Comfort, just go straight up Mountain Farm.
Mountain Farm, okay. And then you hit Ivy. You go past Ivy.
past Ivy.
So it's on the other side of that private road that
Yes.
goes into Garafano's and
Correct.
the school,
Yes.
okay? And how many acres?
23.
23.
Lot one is 23.
Yes,
Yes, but the rattlesnakes have like 2/3 of it.
right. Yeah, so the buildable area is really just here. So that's pretty much the broad strokes of the project at this point. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
Of course. Let's see, I started at that end last meeting, so I'll start at this end, this meeting.
So I don't have much background on I recently joined the planning board. So this is one of 7. And how will the build be sequenced, and how similar is this to the other lots?
It's one of 9.
9.
And the sequence starts with. So I'll give you the short version,
Yeah.
then I'll give you the long version. The sequence starts with lots 1 and 2.
Yep.
And then
It's convoluted.
yes. So
And you only had slight issues, you're saying, with lot 7. Is that why you led with that?
No, sorry, lot 7. They came to us with lot 7 first.
even though we weren't supposed to.
Supposed to is a funny word.
Yeah.
In the subdivision plan, and John, maybe we can, in all your copious spare time, we can get the subdivision finals to the board.
Yeah, I have them.
Okay. The subdivision plan has got a construction phasing plan in it.
Yeah.
Which goes 1, 2, and then
8 and 9,
8 and 9, and then
and then basically the rest of
the rest of them. That was put together by the applicant. And I think it's mostly has to do with the amount of infrastructure work necessary to make those lots buildable.
Sure.
So in previous, before you joined us, they came to us with 7 and said we want to do 7 first, which is, and so we had to check to make sure we could change the phasing plan without changing everything else, and it turned out we could. And they're certainly welcome to do 7 or to change the order, but any of the precursor work that's necessary to make a lot buildable still has to be completed before that lot is buildable.
Yep.
And the precursor work for lot 7 also includes all the precursor work for 3, 4, whatever that group is.
So, you know, the stone pillars at the corner of,
I do.
yeah, so that little road that goes up there is going to be shared by a bunch of properties. And so those properties all are gonna share some utilities and that kind of thing. And so that utility work needs to be done first. So one of the reasons lot 7 and its neighbors were to be originally done last is that it was kind of like the hardest. But then, John, after thinking about number 1, lot 7 it's a nice lot. But also in thinking about it, he felt like, well, maybe he really needs to get that utility work done so that they can be, you can sell the lots.
Yeah, certainly it's,
So,
Yeah. And any key, you mentioned you've got all the permits, any the key feedback as part of those processes to call out?
no, not that I'm aware of. The engineers might know better than I do, but
Nothing material.
Do you know if the same engineers who worked on the subdivision will be working on the site
Yes.
engineering?
yes.
Okay, that'll be more helpful.
yeah, that'll be convenient.
Yeah, there's good institutional memory there.
I'll have more, I think, but
That's okay.
for now. Yeah.
I'm okay for now.
Okay, I'll skip over me because I'm like that. Talia?
It was very interesting to hear how you combine those runoff wells and that pond. An interesting idea. So, but overall, thank you for the presentation. Interesting project. I guess with utilities and everything, who's gonna review that, or it's done?
No, it's not done. So there's a bunch of work that still needs to be, this is a very preliminary
This-
set. So there'll
okay,
need to be a whole set for the utilities and grading and all of that. And when it gets technical, that will wind up going to.
Okay, so basically we got a preview of what's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay. I should be clear about this, but
Sure.
I want to be really clear. Okay, the last time you were here, we were talking about lot 1.
Lot 7.
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about lot 7 tonight.
No, today's lot 7.
Oh, he
We-
agrees.
We started out with an introduction to lot 7, and then this is actually, the big lot is actually lot 1, which is what we're currently
Oh, the
reviewing.
23 acre.
Yeah,
Yeah, the biggest lot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
And it's
I
also
have
the
to change
one
my
that
notes.
doesn't have really, has the fewest neighbors.
Yeah, it's,
It's the most isolated
Yeah.
lot.
yeah, so technically town of Tuxedo owns the property on
Perimeter,
almost 3
perimeter.
sides, or at least 2 sides. And almost 3 sides. I'm not sure, is that like Skirling Forest or something?
Could be.
Yeah. So yeah, it's quite, there are basically there's one residential neighbor.
One is the headmaster of the school, right?
right. I mean, it's the school property, and then this.
There's actually 3 neighbors. There's the Garafanos on the opposite side of the street.
And the other 2 are the school, owned by the school, right?
There's Jack McKinnon, who has the house behind this. The chisel cutout on to the left of the house, see that square?
Yep.
That's a Jack McKinnon's property.
Okay.
And that property is right behind the
I know
headmaster's
the
house.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
There's the headmaster's
Yeah, yeah,
house,
yeah.
and this is the.
Yeah.
the rookery.
So there
I
are,
have a question if my wife was here.
Yes.
Okay, 23 acres,
Yes.
okay. Is it that much wetlands that you can't divide it?
Well, it's a combination of wetlands, and rattlesnake habitat. So the wetlands are down here, and then the rattlesnake habitat comes to approximately like right here or so.
it's the DEC that designated the DEC,
Mhm.
yeah, they're the ones that designated the area for the rattlesnakes.
Okay.
So that's what I think takes up part of that area.
So you can't touch it.
Right.
Can't touch it. And it's very not buildable because it's that rocky knoll. Even if the rattlesnakes weren't there,
Okay.
it's not a great place to build. But
Yeah, there's,
with the rattlesnakes, it's especially bad.
Same for rattlesnakes.
there's the ridge protection area at the very top, which is indicated here. And then these shaded areas are the steep slope areas. Which, there's a steep slope kind of calculation right here, so that also reduces or affects the buildable area, I suppose. But, so that helps.
And as far as water, sewer and all that stuff, that's an easy lot to do.
Yes. Yes, there's a,
The water and sewer name. Not too far from the McKinnon house and the headmaster house, I guess, also.
and
Yeah.
there's an easement to go across here. And they've got approval to go through the wetland to do it, so.
With some asphalt. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a couple of things. I've started with an easy one and you brought it up, on the bulk table for the slope.
Okay.
Section, it's section 113. I don't know, one of your, there was, I didn't, like I said, that bulk table right there,
Punted.
which is fine.
And,
Oh,
because
it's-
basically they did a better job. of
They
it.
did the calculation, but the 113, section 113 says, and this isn't really an issue because it was resolved. We know it's a buildable lot because the subdivision got approved. 113 basically says if there's more than 75% of the lot has more than 25% slope, you can't build on any of it. And the way that you put it in the bulk table is, it says the requirement is 25% and you've got more than 25%. I just look at that, because I think it's not stated quite
Okay.
right.
I'll revisit it.
Because basically what you need to show is that you have less than the limit to be buildable. The 25% is the slope number. It's the quantity of 25 or greater slope that's important, and you have to be under a number.
Yeah, here I have it. Okay.
I may be
I'll
looking,
revisit it.
and the only reason I say that is because eventually someone will look at that and say, well, wait a minute, you're over the limit while you're building here.
Yeah.
Just got my OCD going.
Well,
Okay.
but probably an important point.
It's an important point, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not hugely worried about it because the whole point of the subdivision was that all the lots are approved to build on. Other than that, it looks like this is more or less as of right. I don't think there are any variances required for area or anything like that.
Right.
I'm a little concerned about the pond on a number of fronts.
Okay.
First of all, like Arvin mentioned, we're gonna need more detail. But putting that aside, what you said was we're gonna essentially take the two bioretention basins and make them into a pond, which sounds like a great idea. I'm taking two little ponds and making them into one big pond. But bioretention basins are environmentally engineered to quickly and effectively remove pollutants, especially nutrients, from the water. And taking those two shallow basins and making into one deeper basin may no longer do that. So just
I talked briefly to our engineers about that. And, he'll have to kind of school me more, I'm sure. But schematically anyway, here, I thought there could be a couple of overflows which would have room enough to serve the functions you're talking about, to sort of have the kind of, filtering plant life and all of that kind of stuff to treat the water before it gets to the wetland.
Absolutely. I'm not trying to come up with reasons why it doesn't work. These are areas, because this goes into a larger question, the sort of the whole environmental question. I'm going to ask Amy something about that in a minute. But there are also two things in the subdivision, in the rules for building this lot. One of them is that those bioswales have to be constructed. So we're going to have to, if we're not constructing those bioswales because we're constructing a pond, that question of does it answer is really going to have to be answered. But the other thing is, it says, and you brought this up with the utilities go through the wetland, and there was permission to do that with the asterisk that the wetland has to be restored after that work, which makes sense. And that, okay, this pond is going to be, it maybe, if it's not in the wetland, it's in the adjacent area to the wetland, and doesn't show up in the subdivision plan or the subdivision EIS. And here's where the question comes. Can we do something, if this was any other, ignore the fact that you already have done a subdivision and there's an EIS already done. Pick any existing lot in the park and you say, I want to put a pond in. We're going to have to do an environmental assessment of that. And I say we,
You have to
you,
give it a hard look.
and it's not automatically going to be a type 2 or what's the other one, unlisted action. And
Wow, I can't imagine that.
I'm just,
Okay, go ahead. So,
maybe not, maybe I'm being overly pessimistic in my engineering way. So I want to make sure that and when I say we, I mean you guys, don't get too far down the route of having this pond, which by the way I think is a great thing, and run sideways with DEC and Army Corps. And what I really don't want to have happen is this turn into we're going to have to revisit the EIS for the subdivision.
yeah, no, nobody wants to.
Nobody wants, right. I mean, so the question I had asked you to look at, will this trigger a review of the entire subdivision? Could it?
Not the entire subdivision.
Okay.
I don't think. I am glad that you brought up the pond. I have some questions about the pond too, in terms of the environmental review. I should say I'm a little unclear as to what DEC is doing with wetlands at the moment. They're still kind of in a hazy place since the regulations were.
Oh, all the regulations were thrown out.
Yes, they were.
Yes.
So I should mention that. Was there a delineation done here
Meaning,
of the wetland?
Was the boundary of it defined?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I think by Army Corps. I think it's an Army Corps wetland.
Okay, because I looked at the maps and like I said, I'm not really sure what DEC is doing, but from what I could gather, there's a federal wetland kind of like across the road. And so it did look to me like the pond would be perhaps in the adjacent area, but again, I'm also not sure what's going on with DEC and the wetlands regs. As far as the pond itself, my understanding is that kind of depending on how big it is, it might be an accessory to the house, in which case it would be a type 2 as part of the single family home. But at a certain point, if it's too large, or if there are environmental impacts that are apparent, I think that it might be an unlisted.
I think we want to make it however big it needs to be accessory.
So again, we're not
Yes.
trying to shoot it down, but just this is gonna come back. So
Well, this is
Help us
why,
help you.
I'm really glad that we're presenting this kind of preliminarily to you guys, so that that's just kind of input early.
Oh, yeah, that's why we like to do it this way. And then the only other thing I have, you mentioned a well, which I guess is, when the water gets too low, will we refill it out of the well or something?
Yeah.
Um,
Now, there is a spring. So on,
The driveway, right?
yeah. Well, it's probably like right around here or so. There's a little pipe or whatever, and people like John Overton as a kid used to walk up the road with his grandpa and they would, drink out of the spring. That was like what they would do. And apparently, a lot of people would do that. But it's still pretty active. So, he thinks that all you have to do is dig down a little bit and you're going to get lots of water gushing out. But, and maybe that's so, but it's probably good to plan on having a well to just,
which, fine, just I'll point out there are other levels of complications with wells in the village. So it's they don't fall under our purview, but I think you need a permit from the town board to put in a well.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things we'd have to kind of consider here. This would just be for irrigation or the pond.
Bond, right?
And we'd have to look to see how that gets managed. I also don't know what the complexities are adding well water to a bio-detention pond. Kind of
Yeah.
defeats the purpose a little bit. I don't know. So I don't know. And the pond is gonna be lined, so it's not really a bio-retention basin anymore. So I don't know what happens when you add well water to what's supposed to be, I guess, an erosion control measure, to slow down the water and attenuate it to absorb any minerals. And so I don't know, these are questions the engineers are gonna have to answer.
The pond would be lined, like the base of the pond will be lined with plastic or something.
whatever they line ponds with. Not really sure, but basically,
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different ways. So I mean,
Plastic or cement, usually.
yeah, bentonite clay. I mean,
Can I ask you a question here?
Yes.
Is the pond, which I think water features are really good for nature. Okay, so I'm a pro water pond guy. But is the pond for aesthetics?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it doesn't go through, it doesn't change your building the house.
No, we'd revert to the bioretention basins that are shown in subdivision. They're not the most attractive things, basically. I mean, this is the way they're drawn.
Well, the issue is the village code really suggests that everything kind of melds into the existing terrain. So that's why sometimes it's very, very difficult to submit a landscaping plan that looks like it's been there for 100 years. And if you're making something as large as a pond and the terrain is supposed to contour with it, and you're already cutting and filling for part of the house, part of which is going to be necessary because you are building on at least a gentle incline, it's hard to get it to fit in to make it look like it's original.
Mhm.
And that's really what the code suggests people try to do. So,
I think that with the wetland being right next to it, the landscaping around the pond could be designed so that it really does feel like it's.
and I think, and I've been with them long enough, that's what the bar is going to look for, that it looks like it's natural.
Yeah.
Not contrived.
Yeah.
That's all. But you've been there enough,
Yeah.
so
And they seemed to like it last week.
Good call, their aesthetics.
yeah, we just deal
I
with
think
it.
engineering wise, it's kind of a conflict there that it's supposed to retain water and be kind of biodiverse. But then when it's too low, you're adding well water to it. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess it depends on, there would be, what's the dry pool height versus the,
Whatever.
we got people for that once you guys figure it out.
It has to be deep enough so it doesn't freeze, I think.
Yes, if you're gonna put
Only
fish in
if
it.
you're gonna put fish in it.
Well, you better put fish in it or you're gonna have lots of mosquitoes.
I think he wants fish in it.
It's a lot of fish.
Somebody asked me that, do you know approximately how many square feet the proposed house is?
Yes.
I saw the first floor. But I
34.
ask you since
That's the first floor footprint.
The total floor area is 4,400 square feet. It's 4414.
it could change. You're proposing a basement at all as far as site work and that could
We are
change.
proposing a basement, but does the basement count towards the floor?
I'm not worried about the
Oh,
floor.
right.
I'm just worried about site disturbance and how much, cut and fill and
Yeah.
do you anticipate rock at that level? We don't know, I guess.
So,
We know there's rock near the top of the wall.
yeah, currently I'm showing a basement over under everything except for the garage.
Okay.
Something tells me that, maybe over here, we won't have a basement.
Okay, that's all right.
But we'll.
To my left again.
The driveway, any idea proposed? Impervious, pervious, I know it's early, but we wanted to.
That's actually a good question.
You can ask John what his
Yeah.
preference is. It's an architectural question for an aesthetic issue and it's a planning board engineering question if it's impervious or pervious.
Although with 23 acres, I'm not sure the driveway matters for pervious.
But the 23 acres is all uphill.
Well, there's two issues. One is the bulk table,
Yeah.
permeability limit, impermeability limit, and one is how do you control the stormwater? Those are
Two different things.
two different things.
I don't see a stormwater system. It's too early for that.
Right.
Yes.
Is it too early to stake it out? So if you wanted to take a walk up there,
I've
you could see
already
where,
done that.
oh, it's already staked out.
I have. The problem is that the vegetation there is really thick.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to find mistakes. They're little flags. If you're really, I could send you guys kind of GPS coordinates for the corners.
What's the easiest way to access it? Is it off of Ivy instead of Mountain Farm or?
Well,
But at some point you might be
So-
closer to Ivy, but I don't know how thick
yeah. Right now the driveway has been weed whacked, so getting up the driveway is easy.
Okay.
And then if you look this way, if you look carefully enough, you might see a little red flag, which indicates this corner right here. But again, it's the vegetation's really thick, so it's really hard to see.
The red flags mark I saw your point real quick. Do they mark the corners or just, where does the red flag mark?
I marked the corners, but the one that's most visible is this one right here at the corner of the terrace.
Okay, front of the terrace.
The rest of them are, gosh, they're really hard to see.
Yeah.
And then, so the other way to do it currently, so there's the driveway, then there's the little spring. And then a little bit farther down, you'll see that somebody has created like a little path. I think,
It's a walking path. It's been there for some time.
yeah, it goes over to McKinnon's house. And it pretty much goes through the proposed pond. It kind of, if I'm going to approximate the path, it kind of does that. So if you were to walk up that path, you could kind of visualize where the pond is going to be by walking up the path.
Have you seen the structure where the water starts for that outfall pipe? Have you seen that?
So
I
there's a
saw it there with the
cast
engineers.
iron, yeah.
There's quite a concrete structure. Obviously, most of it's subterranean. But it's kind of interesting. They actually built something
They
there.
built something.
Yeah, because I was in there with the engineers when they were going through the subdivision approval.
Okay,
It's not just a stream that comes out of
right.
the mountain or off the hillside.
Yeah, they've indicated it here. They're calling it a well.
Okay.
But I'm not even really sure what it is.
But it's been flowing for a long time.
Nothing else from me.
Yes.
The-
All right. Rich, all right. Amy, you got anything else?
Were the bioswales in the subdivision plan or,
Yes.
okay. And there was an EIS done,
Yeah.
full blown
Yes.
EIS.
It is,
Environmental, like
yes.
gigantic, like, yeah.
How long ago was that?
Well, the subdivision approval is 2021.
Something 21 or
Okay.
22, something like
It's
that.
not,
No, that's relatively new.
May of 21, it was signed off, the approvals.
Remind me, or remind John. I got so much paper, I don't know which one's the final one.
I got the final one, I'll send it to everyone. Perfect. Only 80 pages.
It's nothing, it's electronic.
Focus on lot one.
Yeah. Anything else?
I'll wait to take a look at that.
Okay. I do know that, you border the town, so we're gonna be going to the county for the GML review.
239.
Yeah, but we're not ready to do that yet, obviously. I can't imagine it's gonna be much of an issue with that.
I have a silly question. If you see a rattlesnake, what happens?
So during construction, there's a protocol for that the approval has laid out for. Is there have to like set up sensors or something?
Rattlesnake wardens.
Something like that. I don't know. It's a pretty lengthy protocol. So during construction, there's, people can be safe while they work there and all that. And then there's apparently, the protocol includes, what you do if you see one. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it was part of the subdivision approval.
Good.
Um,
Maybe it says run.
Now that's during construction. After construction, while somebody's living there, I guess they're just roommates, they're.
Yes, I think there's actually a protocol, or at least there's language for the homeowner.
Homeowners encounter plan.
Yes, it's been spelled out what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Run in circles and wave your hands in the air. It's in the subdivision plan, but having built stuff, just as put this in a note, at the very least, in big letters, there should be where it says rattlesnake, somewhere on the plan, it should direct the contractors to go to the plan.
To the subdivision.
Yeah, or maybe even better, that those protocols should be stapled to the rest of the contract documents. I'm not telling you how to run your business, but just because you can't even get most contractors to read the general notes on the front of the sheet, they are not going to go digging looking for a plan or see if they need to have something. So just housekeeping stuff. Yes, and I actually think you mischaracterize it. I think the DEC rattlesnake plan is not to protect the workers, it's to protect the rattlesnakes.
That's right, too.
Do you have a timeline in your head for this?
Not really. No. I think we're.
There is a timeline in the plan that there should be no land clearing activities or tree clearing between November and March to avoid any impacts to the timber rattlesnakes. Or the
And bats.
Indiana bat, or the northern longhorn bat, and let's not forget the eastern small-footed bat. So nothing between November and March.
But I thought that's when you had to take trees down.
All on-site land clearing activities included but not limited to tree clearing shall be conducted between November and March. To avoid impacts to the animals I mentioned.
It can't,
I thought tree clearing had to be done in the winter. No?
I think it's the opposite because the bats overwinter under but whatever the DEC says, just it can vary from site to site. So
I'm glad I asked the question.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's tricky.
All right.
All right.
We'll wait to hear from your engineers with a more developed site plan.
Yes.
And then at that point, we'll probably have our engineers look at it.
Once we have technical stuff to review, no
Yeah.
sense to
No.
just spending money on engineers before they have something to do. I can't believe I just said that. Anything else you want to ask us that we haven't burdened you with already?
No, I think,
Excellent. Thank you for coming in, and
that's
I like it. I think it's a good. My wife has already said, there's no way we're buying that house. I'm not living next to rattlesnakes.
Well, that if there's a fishing pond right now.
Yeah, the traps back at the wheel lot. And, my lady who owns the property in front of my house on the Weewat has said I can use it. Okay, do we have to approve the minutes? Do we have minutes to approve? Desiree?
Yes, April 14th,
April 14th, which
2026, yes,
I know that I made comments on it.
yes. And you approved whatever editing was done.
Well, I approved my editing, yeah.
Yes, exactly, but I
Okay.
didn't get any other comments from anyone else.
Okay. So, does anybody remember that they had a comment they wanted to bring up on the minutes of the last meeting? Then, I move we approve the minutes of the meeting of, I'm sorry, April 14,
Yes,
of April 14. May I have a second?
Second.
All right, 2 seconds. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Any opposed? No, it was unanimous, so no. All right, we're good. They're approved. John, do we have any other business or things coming up?
We do have the new house that's proposed, across from the large triangle as you come into the village. It's been before us at least twice, in that wetland
Oh,
area. They've submitted revised engineering drawings for us to review and for our engineer to review. So if we have a quorum, we'll put them on the agenda for the second Tuesday in July.
Which is our next meeting.
That's where the old gardens used to be.
Yes, that's known as the old Alexander Gardens. That's all that I'm aware of as far as what's coming up.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Here, Joe.
And there was one on Overlook Road that hasn't come back. Overlook extension.
Is at the end of the overlook, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that hasn't come back.
Or a subdivision on Tuxedo Road
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nothing else has come back.
when it gets here. All right, then unless anybody has anything else. We're good? We're good? We're good?
If I was, and I'm concerned with your, what is it, the slope ratio? I think they have to cover that. Because I don't think they can build on something that has a slope over what, 25%?
Right, the 25% is the limit, and I'm remembering what I read earlier today, but there's a limit on how much of a lot can be over slope.
75, it's the 75-20 rule. That no more than 75% of the lot can exceed 20 or 25%, whatever we want.
Yeah, I think it's 25.
It did pass the engineers, this lot we were discussing tonight initially, and we could always ask them to double check it. Yeah, so
So, yeah, that's why you couldn't build my house today.
Tuxedo Road one seems like that might be an issue.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't even gotten there yet. First, I gotta figure out if I get the roads to work. But,
that's it.
all right then, I move we adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thank you very much for coming. Hopefully we'll see you all in
July.
July.